Hi everyone, welcome to Legally Yours. We're back again here with Melinda Nutting from Step by Step Support for Families. And in this episode, Mel, I really want to get down to the nuts and bolts of what service you're providing and how it's different, because it is quite a different, unique approach to what sort of else is happening out there. So talk me through the process. How does it begin?
Okay.
Talk me through.
So we do parenting agreements, but we also do financial agreements. But if I was to just kind of summarise the whole process, people are looking for a better way to separate, and they want to do it with less stress, with less cost, and better outcomes. Yes. So we did come from a therapeutic background, and we'd worked for a long time with families, both with parents after separation, but also the children. So what we've designed is a process whereby we'll be able to work with each client individually. Now, they may contact us directly, but we also welcome referrals from lawyers, and we're also really finding it's working well to work with family lawyers in a wraparound way and have a complete feedback loop. So back to what happens is we are able to work with the two parties individually first around the emotional issues, but also communication, which is usually the big stumbling block to reaching agreements, and we are able to then support and scaffold them to be ready for the negotiation or the agreement
and the formal
development,
formal sort of part of it. So almost an opposite approach, I think, to what we are normally used to, which is, you separate, you go and see your lawyer, they start negotiating and firing out, and it becomes quite an adversarial process. But this is completely different.
So we are supporting and guiding our family lawyers. We're all working together, so the family lawyers hear from us about the issues rather than them being the ones that hear about the issues and then trying to work out what to do. And the other thing is that prior to the development of the agreement, we've often spoken to the children. That's part of the child inclusive approach that we take. So the feedback to the parents creates a very different basis for them. And so I'm holding the whole family, and then when the family lawyers are hearing about it, they start to feel good about, we can hold the whole family even though they're only representing one party.
Absolutely. But you're all working towards that common goal of getting the best outcome that you can. And something that I know and that touches my heart a lot in this arena is that often families are the ones left to actually go and live the lives that they've of the orders that they've agreed to. So to have them involved in the beginning to deal with those emotional issues, particularly so they don't make the same mistakes again in other relationships moving forward, but they can take care of those children, because you're parents for life.
So
the marriage might not be, you might not be still partnered with that someone, but you're still a co-parent with that someone.
And because I can support those parents in a way that it might be more difficult if they just had a lawyer, and remind them that there's legal needs, legal requirements, but this is also your parenting role. And even if they don't have kids, by the way, even if it's just financial, it's also very much about them feeling that their relationship didn't end with a lot of sourness or in a very conflictual way.
Absolutely. And it's also how, let's talk the finances a little bit of how with lawyers and how that's all set up, because obviously you're being paid for your service and the lawyers get individually paid by their clients. But when you put it overall together, so the alternative is they could end up in court, which we know can cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, or we can actually invest some money up front, you help with the therapy, so it's almost sort of getting everything in the one bundle. So you help them with the therapy, you help them with the emotional trauma of that separation.
The child, focusing on the children.
You minimise legal costs in some sense because you're all working together. The lawyers understand what it is that the clients want. And I can imagine one kind of real benefit to the lawyers would be that the client actually then will go off and refer and actually talk about the experience as being positive rather than a negative.
You would imagine, instead of that tricky bit between the client and the lawyer.
That's right.
Our clients do feel, I think, more empowered by this process. In fact, one of my clients, and he's a really busy medical specialist, he actually said that he thought this whole separation process was going to be excruciating, and it's actually felt a lot better than what he hoped.
Yes.
And people will often tell us that their communication has improved, and they feel like they've done the right thing by the kids.
Yeah.
And so that's great for our clients, but it's also, I think, good for lawyers, as you're saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just a healthier process, and we both know that, you know, the family court system is going through a lot of reform, a lot of change, and this is a really valuable service of different way of looking at that's going to get healthy outcomes for all involved.
That's absolutely
well, thank you. It's been so wonderful to get to understand the nuts and bolts of what it is that you do. And if you're a client out there going through a separation and you feel like this is a service that you want to know more about and tap into, or if you're a family lawyer out there and you've got a client that you think would absolutely benefit from this service, please head to our website at legallyyours.com.au, or you can email us at info@legallyyours.com.au, and we can connect you up with Melinda Nutting from Step by Step Support for Families. Thanks for joining us, Mel.
Thanks, Karen.
Thank you.